Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome again to my podcast called Snacks Thoughts. I say welcome again to my podcast called Snacks Thoughts. And what is my thought for tonight? Well, I would say my thought for tonight is get out of the Matrix mindset. And I'll say it again, get out of the Matrix mindset. And what do I mean when I say the Matrix mindset? Well, I'll share a quick story from my own personal experience. Now, I've mentioned before in prior podcasts and even on my YouTube channel how I had served in the military and how I spent, 75% of my career overseas, and just the different countries I traveled to and also lived in, and what I had found is that when I had left the United States and went to live in other countries, my eyes began to be opened and I saw how people lived in other societies. I saw how they did things. Obviously some things I thought either were better and some things, not. But for the most part, overall, I thought it was good and I enjoyed the experience. But I learned and I grew. And what it did, it changed my perspective and the way, I saw things, and I saw things differently. And so when I talk about getting out of the Matrix mindset, everybody remembers the movie The Matrix. Obviously we had, I believe, 1, 2, 3. I don't know if we had Matrix 4. I think we might have, but with Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne, but and you got he's offered the red and blue pill, and you got the Oracle, and obviously the blue pill, taken is for those that choose to remain in the system and with that mindset and to see things, the same way within the frame of the system. Whereas the red pill, if he took that, he would be able to see and function beyond the parameters or the paradigm of the Matrix and would have a different perspective and he would be awakened. Well, when I talk about get out of the Matrix mindset, what I'm talking about is any way of thinking that will cause us to be closed-minded and have a certain perspective that will hinder or stunt our growth, and it will not yield positive results, or we won't get the maximum benefit or achieve our potential because of a faulty way of thinking or a faulty belief system. Yes, the Matrix mindset. And the reason why I use my travel experiences or living abroad as an expat, I think that's one of the most simplified forms and an easy way to explain to individuals that may never have lived abroad. They may never have left their country. Some people, their own town or neighborhood where they grew up in. But when I say get out of the Matrix mindset, it means to maybe break certain patterns, and certain ways of thinking that do not allow us to be open-minded for the better. And change is always good so long as it is for the better. But just leaving the United States, I began to see, that in many ways it was like it's like a rat race. And don't get it twisted, I will always love the United States because this is where I was born at, I was raised at, and this is where I'm from. But I am no fool and not blind to the issues or the problems that we have here. And this is even before the recession occurred. But once I went overseas, it honestly seemed more like people were living and not just existing. And granted, the capitalist and democratic system that we supposedly have in our country it's a beautiful thing, when it works. But, with everything, there's always going to be a price to pay. With capitalism, sometimes it can breed selfishness or greed, and it can bring about a spirit of competition in a negative way, where everybody is competing to try to obtain a piece of this American dream or this particular pie. And you have the elite at the top, or maybe the top 1%, and those few that have more than enough and that can attain it. And then you have the rest that's scrambling, trying to get the crumbs, or like the crabs in a barrel. They're trying to find a way to make it out, out of that barrel and get to the top and get out and get that freedom. That barrel with the crabs in it, saying that right there could be symbolic of the Matrix. You have a mass, of people that are competing, trying to, obtain a piece of something, or either they're in this rat race, or this way of thinking. And then when those few that try to escape, some may even try to sabotage or pull them back in, because they don't see the big picture, or they have a certain way of thinking. And when we have a certain way of thinking or a perspective, and how we look and see, view things, it does affect how we live, and it affects our actions. How we think affects our actions. It affects how we think, how we speak, what we do, what we say, and how we live, And so getting out of the Matrix mindset means basically, free your mind, to be free, to be open-minded for the better, not for the negative, but, for something positive and for the better, so that you can benefit and grow, and possibly through your growth, maybe it may rub off on other people or have a positive impact on them, so that they in turn can grow also, because it only takes a match to get a fire started. But yes, get out of the Matrix mindset. I remember many years ago when I was taking vacation, I was back in New York City, and I remember in the subway station, sometimes you would have like preachers or evangelists, basically ministering the gospel. And he said something interesting, and this was during rush hour, and so New York City is the hustle and bustle and the grind, and so it's a Friday, and people getting off. Those that work day shift, they getting off work, so everybody is going about their business, and it's crowded. And so he said that, and it caught my ear. He said that, he said, many of you you're fighting and struggling to hold on to things that you can't keep or that you can't afford. And that is one example of a Matrix mindset. The mindset in the United States, a lot of times it's about things. It's about status. And people, exhaust and work themselves to death their whole lives to try to obtain something or things that are outside their range and that they don't have the ability to do, or to obtain the right way. And they're killing themselves to try to get it. And then they kill themselves to try to hold on and keep it. But all of that is a mindset, It's a way of thinking. And when I left the United States, I was like, wow. It's like people think, totally different. It's more about, living life and enjoying relationships, enjoying family, enjoying friends, having a healthy mindset and a healthier lifestyle versus about having things and status. The Matrix mindset. And it's not just the United States. The United States, I use it as an example on, if you want to say, a macro level. But on a micro level, if you break it down, within that macro, there's a bunch of individuals and individual mindsets that are thinking a certain way that keep them trapped. It keep them trapped it keeps them trapped in thinking a certain way, which reveals and affects how they act. But yes, get out of the matrix mindset so that you can learn to appreciate yourself and learn to live. Life is about living, not for us to exist as drones or robots. And you wonder, why people are, sometimes turned upside down, with bad credit, debt. I mean, you just name it. And it could be a host, of other things, to even including our health, How do you think? How do you think about, exercise and, a moderate to healthy diet? What is your way of thinking? And if our minds are not healthy or we don't have a positive perspective or a positive way of thinking, it definitely will show and it will affect us and definitely will have a detrimental and long-term effect. But at some point, we got to ask ourselves, and each one of us as an individual must face ourselves and look in the mirror and really figure out what are we doing? Some of us, with this matrix mindset, we are like hamsters in a habit trail on a hamster wheel, just spinning around. We're running and the habit trail is steadily going in circles, but we're not getting anywhere. And at some point we have things in status, and then by the time we get there and get them, either we're too wore out to enjoy them, or we're wondering like, wait a minute, this is not all that I thought it was cracked up to be. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with having status or material items or businesses or, college degrees, whatever. There's nothing wrong with being successful, but everything in moderation, everything in moderation. If you cannot obtain success and not be able to live and just exist, then maybe you might need to rethink some things. That's the key. Can you accomplish your goals and be successful, but, still live and not exist? Are you a robot or a drone? Or are you a person that's for a change, taking some time out, to smell the roses? We only get one go around, in this life. And so the main thing is that the best we can do, make the most of it. Make the most of it. But that's all I have for this one. And I just want to encourage those, to have a positive mindset and perspective and be open-minded for the better. If it's not for the better, then don't do it. But be open-minded for the better. But that's it, and that's all I have, guys. And thank you for listening. Thank you to all these subscribers, to Snacks Thoughts, and also to my YouTube channel. I thank all my subs. I thank you. I really do. Thank you. And thank you for spending time. And I will be uploading some more military content. And I'll have other content as well coming to my YouTube channel. And I'll have some more material coming to my Snacks Thoughts. I just had to, was busy last week, and so I wasn't able to upload. So I apologize for that if I missed anything by missing a week off. But yeah, thank you guys. But please share Snacks Thoughts. That's SNAKZTHOUGHTS. And I also have a YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube, ERICBROADUS YouTube, or ericbroadusyoutube.com. And Snacks Thoughts, you can find me, this podcast, on Anchor, Spotify, Spreaker, Listen, Radio, PBM, Apple Podcast. Let's see, you can find me on iTunes and a host of other social media platforms. So please share Snacks Thoughts and share Eric Broadus YouTube. Share it with your friends, families, frenemies, enemies, rats, bats, goats, cats, you know what I'm saying, dogs, you know what I'm saying, roaches, bats, you know what I'm saying. Share it, spread it, and push it out, guys. And when you also go on to my YouTube channel, smash that bell to become subscribed, and smash that like button, and leave comments. If you don't like the video, you're entitled to your opinion or your way of thinking. Everyone has a right to that. Hit the unlike button, leave a comment. Love the dialogue with you guys. That's all I have. Have a great weekend, guys, and I'll see you soon. Peace.